As soon as I heard about this weekend's arrests of the Hutari militia, I immediately wanted to talk to our next guest. He's Chip Burleigh. He's a senior analyst for Political Research Associates. He has written extensively about right-wing populism, the militia movement, the patriot movement, and the apocalypse fetishists among us. He's been doing this for a very long time. He was one of the few people calling attention to the armed militia movement in this country before the Oklahoma City bombing in 1995. Chip Burleigh, it's very nice to have you on the program. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
What we are learning about the religious beliefs of this militia group makes them seem a little bit like a cult, like a standalone religious oddity. But some of the things that they're obsessed with, fighting the Antichrist, avoiding the mark of the beast, the pre-tribulation rapture, all this stuff, this isn't a set of beliefs that is specific to this one cult. These beliefs are actually sort of characteristic of a broader movement, aren't they?
Well, it's kind of hard to call it a cult if you're talking about Americans who believe that the end times is a upcoming historic event. You're talking about 30 to 40% of the American population religiously believes that the end times are coming. And of those, probably 15% of the population believes it'll happen in their lifetime. This is the storyline of the Left Behind series of books by Tim LaHaye and Jerry Jenkins, 70 million sold in the U.S. So this is actually a pretty widespread belief system among a certain group of Christian fundamentalists in the U.S., and there are a lot of them.
Have we seen the sort of intersection of very extreme anti-government politics, and in this case, anti-government, if you believe the indictment, strategizing and plotting? Have we seen the convergence of that and this sort of apocalyptic theorizing and wanting to fight the Antichrist, looking out for the mark of the beast? Are these two things that have gone together before in modern American history?
Sure. In the mid-1990s, I attended a patriot gathering where there were militia organizers, and there was actually a debate about whether the need to arm yourself against the coming collapse was a secular economic one or the end times battle with the Antichrist. And bear in mind that just a few months ago in New Jersey, 30% of the Republicans in New Jersey said that they either believed or thought it possible that Obama was the Antichrist.
Chip, when you look at this group, again, they are a group that is the rest of the militia movement is very quickly trying to distance themselves from them. Other militia groups in Michigan were saying, we have nothing to do with this. These guys, we're helping law enforcement. We're not like them at all. How credible are those claims? How much do you see the rest of the militia movement, the rest of the patriot movement represented in what these guys were doing?
Well, the Patriot movement is fairly vast. Like the Tea Party movement is part of the Patriot movement. You have everything from black conservative Republicans to armed white supremacists in this large kind of dissident gathering that's been brewing out in the country. So, of course, the more middle-of-the-road militia guys are going to say, oh, this isn't us. But this confluence of apocalyptic belief and the battle of the end times with the militia movement certainly was very strong in the 90s. And there are other militia groups out there that are built around this end times apocalyptic viewpoint.
In the groups that we're seeing now, are we seeing the remnants of the groups that did exist in the 90s? Did those groups go away entirely, or have they just been sort of fallow for a decade and we didn't know about them even though they still existed?
Well, mostly they're new. Some of the original folks are re-involved, but to a large extent, the militia movement was pretty much gone by 1999. It had fairly well collapsed. And what we have now is this fact that the patriot movement, this Americanist, nativist kind of movement, appears periodically throughout U.S. history, and once in a while it gets really, really large. And then the question is, what form does it take? So that right now we have a settling out occurring, so that there are some people who are moving towards the Republican Party, and then there are some people moving towards armed insurrection.
Obviously, the groups moving toward armed insurrection are the ones that worry us the most because of the proximity of the potential for violence here. One of the things that struck me in the indictment today, Chip, was that there appears to be some effort by the members of this group who were just arrested to coordinate into a larger national effort. The indictment describes a planned February summit of militia groups, possibly convened by the leader of this Hutari militia. Doesn't seem to have happened, but that's the occasion for which David Stone is alleged to have tried to assemble 4 bombs, 4 IEDs. Should we worry about national coordination among groups that might otherwise seem disparate?
I think it's very hard to organize this kind of dissident movement into a national organization around one ideological goal, because we have the Christian right, we have the economic libertarians, we have the anti-immigrant nativists, and we have just average taxpayers who are fed up. And trying to get them to form an actual coalition on a national level is unlikely. The Tea Party is having a hard enough time with some just general goals. I think the danger is that the more that right-wing media demagogues and opportunistic Republicans egg these people on, the more likely it is that little cells will form and carry out acts of violence on their own without a national organization.
Chip Burleigh, Senior Analyst for Political Research Associates, for a long time one of the foremost researchers and thinkers in this field. Really appreciate your insight, Chip. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, conservatives, it's almost 9:30 p.m. Do you know where your donations to the Republican National Committee are? They might be anywhere paying for anything. We'll be joined by Anna Marie Cox in just a moment. I do want to give you one last update, though, on this story about the Hutari militia. We've just received further details from the AP in terms of what's happened. The FBI says, again, the last of these 9 people arrested, 9 people charged with plotting to kill police and seditious conspiracy. The 9th person they were looking for has finally been apprehended about 8 p.m. tonight at a home in Hillsdale County, Michigan, about 30 miles from the site of this weekend's raid. This young man, 21-year-old Joshua Stone, he was in a house with 5 adults and a child. They were there willingly. They were not being held hostage. Mr. Stone was the only suspect not arrested in the raids. He is now in custody. We'll keep you posted if we get further details. We'll be right back.